Imagine a world where money isn't real, where the value you trust is nothing but an illusion. From ancient coins to modern digital currencies, the story of money is not about wealth. It's about power, control, and deception. What if everything you've been taught to believe about banks, about value, about the system itself, was designed to keep you obedient, not free? Behind the scenes, a hidden architecture decides who rises and who stays trapped. You were never meant to question it, until now. Because once you understand the truth about money, you will realize it was never yours to begin with. Stay with me. What you're about to discover could redefine your understanding of money, power, control, and wealth. Chapter 1. The Birth of Money, a Tangible Reality. It all began in 770 BC. China's master metalworkers created the first metal coins. At first, they were miniature replicas of the tools that once served as currency. Then they took shape as small, round, easy-to-handle pieces, cast in bronze, a metal that held real value. It was scarce, it was tangible, it was real. A piece of metal was worth exactly its weight for a brief moment in history. Money was not an illusion, but rulers and kings were watching, and they had a realization that would change the course of human civilization. They realized money is not just a tool, it's a lever, and whoever controls the lever controls the people. That is when the illusion began. Chapter 2. The First Money Heist. By 600 BC, King Alyattes of Lydia introduced something that would change everything: the first official mint. Coins were now a mix of silver and gold, each stamped with an image that declared its value. It was a revolutionary idea. Now people could trust that the coin in their hands was worth what the king declared. But soon, rulers across the world faced a problem. Gold and silver were expensive. They wanted more money, but the metals were limited. Their solution? Dilution. They thinned the coins. They mixed expensive metals with cheaper ones. They stamped the same images on coins worth far less. And just like that, the illusion of money was born. From this moment on, the value of a coin was no longer dictated by its weight in metal. Its value was whatever the ruler declared it to be. It was trust, not metal, that determined worth. And trust, as we would soon learn, is easy to manipulate. Chapter 3. The Paper Promise. A dangerous game begins. As civilizations expanded and trade routes stretched across continents, a new problem emerged. Metal coins were too heavy to carry over long distances. So kings and emperors devised a new trick: IOU certificates. Instead of carrying sacks of gold, traders could now use stamped pieces of paper that represented real gold stored in royal treasuries. As long as the king's seal was on it, people believed it was as good as gold. For a while, it worked, but then something changed. Over time, fewer and fewer people bothered exchanging their IOUs for real gold. People never went back to check, and kings, they noticed, they realized, if the paper is trusted, gold is not even needed. And just like that, the paper promise became a permanent lie. If people believed the paper had value, then it had value. And so the connection between money and reality was forever severed. From ancient kings to modern governments, the power of money was no longer in its metal, it was in the illusion. And illusions can be exploited. Chapter 4. Fiat. Let it be done. Let's fast forward. Welcome to the modern world. Money isn't backed by gold. Actually, it's backed by nothing. It's fiat. Latin for let it be done. A government says it has value, and we accept it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Take the 10,000 Singapore dollar note, for example. It costs less than 20 cents to produce, yet it holds a value equivalent to 65 grams of gold. This is the power of the system. The illusion is now so deeply ingrained that we no longer question it. That's not wealth. That's illusion, reinforced by faith. Faith that the system won't break. Faith that value won't collapse. Faith that's being tested every single day. And like the kings of old, today's governments understand one thing. The more money they create, the more power they hold. But what happens when the illusion starts to crumble? Chapter 5. Printing money, the invisible theft. 2020, a year of chaos, a year of crisis. In the wake of a global pandemic, economies around the world came to a screeching halt. The US government needed money, lots of it, and they needed it fast. So they did what any ruler in history would do. They created it out of thin air. The United States printed trillions. In just 18 months, 40% of all US dollars in existence were printed. Think about that. Nearly half of all dollars ever created were printed in just 1.5 years. And what happens when more money is printed? Then there are goods and services to back it up. Inflation. Prices rise, the value of your money shrinks, and yet you barely notice because it happens slowly. Your morning coffee's a little more expensive. Your grocery bill climbs a little higher. Your paycheck buys you a little less. It's not an accident. It's designed this way. And the scariest part, it never stops. Chapter 6. The Federal Reserve's Endless Trick. There's something most people don't realize about government debt. Right now, the United States is over $35 trillion in debt. But how does a country actually pay back that debt? It doesn't. Instead, the Federal Reserve buys back old government bonds with newly printed money. It's a Ponzi scheme on a scale so massive that no one questions it. The result? The total amount of money in circulation increases, making each individual dollar worth less and less. It's a silent tax on everyone who holds cash. Every dollar in your savings account is losing value every second. This is the game, a game designed to keep the wealthy in power, a game where those who understand the rules get richer, a game where those who don't lose everything. The real question you should be asking, is there a way out? Chapter 7. The Escape. Understanding the Game. Neuroeconomists have studied the way our brains react to money, and the results are astonishing. The brain treats money as an emotional concept, not a rational one. We see numbers on a screen and assume they are real. We save in currency, thinking we are building wealth, but in reality, we are simply holding onto a devaluing asset. The wealthy understand this. They know that cash is not king, assets are. This is why the rich don't keep their money in fiat. They store their wealth in real estate, stocks, businesses, commodities, and digital assets that grow faster than inflation. Because in the end, the only way to win the game is to stop playing by its rules. And that brings us to the final question. If money is an illusion, what comes next? The answer? Only time will tell. But those who understand the illusion will always be one step ahead. Conclusion. The wealthy know the truth. Wealth isn't about how much money you have, it's about how well you understand it. The rich aren't wealthy because they have more dollars. They're wealthy because they have better knowledge of how money works. To them, it's just a number on a screen, a tool to acquire real power. And now you know the truth too. So the final question is, what will you do next? This is not just a history lesson, it's a warning. Money is an illusion. But power? The power is real, and those who understand money controls the future. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found value in this video and learned something new, give it a thumbs up, twice if you did. It helps us reach more people who are eager to learn and take charge of their financial future. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.